There is a legend in a land of old, those long forgot. This legend is of a mage, just as forgotten. This is the legend of the Lantern Mage. The Lantern Mage is said to have a head of fire and a dress of red, white, and gold. Her staff of iron is what she's named after. A work of art in its own right. The town of Lost Ones is where she was born, raised, and died. A place of sorrow and mourning. Not much left but the crumbling walls, overgrown roads that are cracked and bursting from between the cobblestones. No song of bird or dancing fae can be heard, and the wind, an unearthly still and quiet, consumes the area. A once grand, sprawling cathedral to some long-lost god, goddess, is now nothing but a hollow shell amongst an overflowing graveyard that still stands as it did when it was first creaked open, as if frozen in time. No moss grows on the gravestones, even the metal is not rusted within. At the highest point of said graveyard is marked only with a mage's staff made of wrought iron and an old squeaky lantern that creaks in the ever so slight wind, as if to cry for a master lost to time, a forgotten one lost. All that it is the graveyard and well, which wails and screams, though that is the story for another time. This is the story of the mage. The Lantern Mage was the daughter of a blacksmith and a wanderer, who after the mage was born, left the smith to care for her alone. As she grew, so did her magic. She was a kind person, and a bright light in the town of the lost, seeming to spark it into a whole new era with her magic. She was helpful, guiding hunters back to the town, so that way the fae and the wisps might not whisk them away, aiding the drunkards from their houses to the medic, should they need to. She even kept the fae at bay with her staff of iron. Her hair was as bright as the fires of the forge she lived above, practicing her craft, promising to never marry unless one could outdo her in the forge, and much to the amusement of her father. No one ever seemed to outdo her, whether it was due to magic or not. No one ever really knew. She walked the streets day and night with a smile, guiding the weary to the inn and others home, never wavering in her kindness, even if it should backfire upon her. Though with all legends, this one does not have a happy ending, but most legends never truly do. It started with a cough, as all horrible plagues do. The mage did not know what to do, as her magic seemed to have no effect. She did what she could, but the cough spread and spread, even with her magic acting as a quarantine. Even she herself fell ill, and soon bedridden, with pus-filled boils. She tried and tried to figure out what it was. And then, too late, she figured it out. But too late, she took her last breath. Whether she was the last or the first to die of said cough was never known, but she was buried in an unmarked grave. Well, unmarked, as in the tombstone has nothing on it, other than a small lamp. Her staff stood high next to it, buried into the ground as if someone thrust it in, like a flag. The very next night, however, they heard the clink, clink, clink of her staff, and see-through and white, glowing a soft green, much like her magic. She walked down the road and stood before the well. She did this every night. While she was unable to speak to the living, she still seemed to give hope to them, taking those who died, souls, back to a cloaked figure. Some say she took them to death herself, to ensure that they got to where they needed to go. No one exactly knows what she did, except the townspeople, but she still stays there, the graveyard frozen in time, that ever so buzzing magic that never seems to dissipate. Sometimes you can see the town in its full glory, as if it was never turned to ruin. You could hear the people talking, the thumping of the horses' hooves, the smell of baked bread, and the tink, tink, tink of the forge being used. She stayed even as the last person died in the town, and it fell to ruin. Storms raged, even as the animals never returned, and neither did the Fae. Should you see her, you would notice that she seems sad, but with a still happy smile upon her face. Her eyes a glossy sheen. She will help you guide through the forest back to your home, or just through the town, always knowing the safest route, even if it's different every time, but always through the graveyard in the center. Some say if you unearth her body, she would be as if she was well, not a boil or mark upon her body. Others say the grave is empty. Some say she's restless because there are those in town that she hasn't collected yet. So many things are known and unknown. I guess we'll never fully know the story unless she tells us, if she ever could. Although one thing that we all know is only the dead truly could ever know her name, let alone speak it. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video, or, well, listening along, seeing as it was a story. If you want to let me know that you really liked it and you want more videos like that, please give the like button a gentle pat on the head. There's enough like button abuse, we don't need to slap it more. Just give it a gentle pat on the head, let it know that you love it very much and that it does its job well. And maybe also leave a comment and let me know what kind of stories you guys like, so that way I can make stories for you. Anyways, hope you guys all have an excellent, fabulous day.